Tom, ahead of the European semi-finals now, it's been a long journey in terms of these players, in terms of the qualification campaign. You've used over 35 players altogether, but the journey starts way back for these players, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, from schoolboy football, and right through their first schoolboy club, and lads then have got into their local league emerging talent programs, and then from there to regional centres, and obviously some of them have obviously moved across to England, and a number of our players have also stayed at home with the League of Ireland clubs, so the pathway has been very good for the players, and along the way they've had many good coaches, and we're fortunate as underage international managers to have had these players, and knowing that they've been very well coached along the way, and great credit goes to all those coaches who've worked with the players.
The style of play has been something that's been commented on. What probably can play even better, but the opposition, different styles, different opponents, different systems we've come up against. But the style of play, that's something that's identified quite early in the process, isn't it?
It is indeed, and through our emerging talent programs, and the lads have been in the programs for a number of years, and they're taught to play from the back and play through the thirds, and to have the courage to go and get on the ball, and obviously to work on their technical ability, and the players are comfortable in playing from the back, but also you're not always going to play from the back. Teams have got a very aggressive press, and any of the teams we've played have been pressing us high up the pitch, and sometimes you have to have a method of going along as well, and because you end up playing yourself into trouble. But I have to say the boys have shown great courage, to try and free themselves up to be an option for defenders when they're on the ball, to play through midfield and play into attack, and they've been really, really good. Yeah.
So what age would they have started that kind of process of learning to play under pressure and being much more technical football?
Yeah, well, as I say, the emerging talent program is a great development program for the players, but then obviously they go into the competitions and interleagues, and we have Kennedy Cup too, and they're great opportunities to see players playing under that bit more pressure as well, and that's the first step towards international football. At under 15 level, they come out of the Kennedy Cup and they go for trials at under 15s, but they're continually monitored through the emerging talent program, and indeed over the last couple of years there's been great work going on, with even lower age groups at under 13 and under 14 elite national level, where players are coming in, at various stages throughout the year, and this year was our first under 14 international against Holland, so that will even improve and strengthen the young players coming through and give them that experience earlier.
That process has been going on for a couple of years, as you said, from Jason Donoghue from the 15s up to 21s level, I suppose. Now Stephen Kenny's come in now at the 21s level, but it's really good for him that there is a style of play that's kind of come through the system all the way up to when they eventually get to 21s level. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's great for the players, that they've come through this, system and style that has been set in place, and obviously Stephen continues that on, and it fits into Stephen's system and style as well. And a lot of the players have done really well, for Stephen, and very encouraging, the 21s in Toulon, and obviously beating Luxembourg off to a very encouraging start.
While we do develop players in our own system, there are times where we inherited players or top players. For example, Joe Hodge has come in now in the last couple of years, and he's been a revelation, and he's one that kind of came through the English system. So sometimes we have to kind of get them into our way of playing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And players have got to be able to adapt. But it's quite easy for Joe to come in. If we're playing and we're playing a good brand of football, and a player like him is so technically good and an intelligent player, he slots in seamlessly.
You've seen the results of that now throughout this qualifying campaign and in the tournament itself with the getting through Group B. Have you been surprised at all by how resilient this group has been?
Not really, no, because if you look back to a lot of these players, they've come through the international underage system, and they've done really, really well, and they've had fantastic results over the last number of years. And indeed, Colin O'Brien's team, a number of these boys, this is the third final in a row, so they've had fantastic experiences, and as well as really good results with under 18s this year. Or under 18s pulled off some really good results as well, and beating Belgium and Holland, in November, and that gives lads great confidence too. So under Jim Crawford there, the squad done really, really well last November. So, and then Andy Reid took the 18s over, and a lot of the players, played against Turkey in March, and that opened doors for more players too.
Something that maybe the audience, when they get a chance to see the games now, probably have to remember is that they are young kids. Like, there's a couple of them are 16 in this squad, and they still are at that developmental stage, even though the next level is to go into professional level.
Absolutely, they're young fellas, and it's there's a lot of hurdles along the way, and it's a matter of overcoming them. And indeed, this week there's been many hurdles, and the boys have overcome them, and great resilience and good quality. The players back themselves as well. Great belief in themselves to go and play against these nations. And obviously, there's going to be long periods in games where teams like the French and the Portuguese, they're going to have long periods of possession, but we've got to be patient defensively too. We've got to be well organised, and then transition quickly too. And that's a big thing, the players have learned, especially with the international teams from 15s with Jason and Paul and Colin, the four functions of the game, and having a greater understanding of the four functions and the importance of that. And I can see that shining through with the players.
Obviously, people want to see these players go on and predict, are they going to go on to the senior team, are they going to go on and have good careers? You never know. There's so many factors that will come into play in that regard. But from your point of view, is that success? Is success to see them keep going up on the international trend?
Without a doubt, and it's very pleasing for us, when we get players, maybe they're called into the senior squad, like Leo O'Connor had been called in to train with the senior squad, big Mark Travers, Keevin Kelleher, fellas like that there have been called in, Michael Obafemi obviously, so, and it gives the rest of the young players great hope as well, when they see their teammates getting a wee chance, and it's, inspirational for them. And obviously the first teams back at their clubs is the big challenge to get in there and start to break in, and once you start, players get in there and do well, the international door opens at the higher levels, obviously 21s and seniors then.
And by playing in this tournament and performing well, that alerts their clubs and kind of reminds them, as well as other clubs and other suitors. For example, Johnny Afalobi is without a club, so he's looking to attract attention. So this tournament puts them on a platform.
It's a great shop window for the players, and especially Jonathan is out of contract, and he's been very, very impressive, like many of the other players. But it's been brilliant, and it's opened doors for him. And indeed, we had John O'Shea in our training camp and spoke to the players, about this stage of their career, and he reflected back, himself when he was playing, underage international football, and the importance of playing at finals. And John had great success along with that team, and he spoke about the importance of that in his own career and the confidence it gave him, and at this stage too, 18, 19, 20 years of age, boys have to start thinking about going out on loan, and John spoke to the players about that, about going in and playing with senior players, and a number of our players are starting to break into first teams, and like the lads that are at home are playing with our top Premier Division clubs, and that experience is massive for them.
This tournament now has got down to the final four. Is it daunting? Does it get more daunting? Does it get more exciting? Does it? You must be dying for a break at this stage because you've been in camp so long. But what's your feelings now? Everybody's just enjoying it so much, especially when the players are playing well and you qualify, you win your last game. It gives everybody a great boost, staff, players. It just galvanises us all, and we're looking forward to the Portugal game, because Portugal will be, they'll be raging hot favourites. They won the tournament last year. They're very strong at underage level, but we've got to go and pit ourselves against the likes of Portugal, and as I say, go and perform, and take great confidence from it, and we want to win the match. We're 90 minutes away from a European final, and that's our goal. We want to do whatever we can to get to that final on Saturday. Is that part? Is that an ideal setup for us almost with this squad, but also as Ireland as a whole, up being the underdog?
I suppose, yeah, we love being the underdog, don't we? It's part of our makeup, and we love to prove people wrong, and that's the thing about the squad of players that have done that. But the mentality is very strong. There's different setbacks, and they overcome them, and the next action, the next moment that counts. You got to quickly put disappointment behind you and move on. They're in a great place. They're out of the European finals. They're playing for their country. It's dream stuff, and they've got to cherish every moment of it. And we are, as staff and players, yeah, it's hard work, but it's great to be here. It's better being the inside looking out than the outside looking in.
Absolutely. in terms of Irish football as a whole, how much of a boost is it to have this and people to see that there are young players coming through and to play at the European finals, which is not easy to get to?
Like, it's a great boost for the country in general. Like, and you know, when I keep going back to it, it's great for anybody that's been involved with these players. You know, obviously their families. Like, you know, that's the starting point. Families are always the first coaches. Like, you know, and they instill the values. And you know, the longer players go on in the career, those values stand true. And we've great lads with, you know, great attitudes, very good values. And it's down to them, like, you know, and obviously the coaching that they've received. And I work in coach education myself, and I can see all the coaches around the country, and I can see the quality of the coaches and the hunger to learn and wanting to be better, and the standards that they're setting. And obviously our players moving into, you know, our League of Ireland clubs and the National League, you know, getting stronger, and clubs are putting massive work into. Our League of Ireland clubs are putting great work in at National League level to develop the players, and, you know, trying to improve the resources all the time. And, you know, I just feel like, you know, if we can get more funding for our National League clubs, and we'll have a very, very strong footballing future in Ireland.
And that's reflected in the fact that you have 4 players in the squad that are currently with SSE or Trinity League clubs, with Ali Regba's literally just left, gone to Leicester City as well for Bohemians. That's
right, like, you know, and a number of lads obviously not here and have been involved throughout the year that have been with the League of Ireland clubs. And I feel that, you know, clubs, the professionalism with our young players is definitely going to a new level, and we've got to keep striving for it to be better and better. That our players at home have got a really, really good platform. And if you look at our teams in Europe, like Cork City done fantastically a few years ago, UCD, Bohemians, you know, when they went to Europe with their teams, performed really, really well, and it opened the doors then for the lads to go in and play first team football.
In terms of now Portugal doing all the prep work, you've got the recovery done with the medical staff, all the analysis done with your analysis team as well, and now you've one last training session before the big day.
Yeah, we have a training session this evening. Obviously, we've had individual meetings today with the players. We've had a team meeting there this morning, and we just have a pre-training meeting prior to training, and we instill as much as we can, you know, from the Portuguese system of style into the players' thinking and get them prepared. And obviously, looking at our own strengths too, and how we can exploit Portugal. For there's no team that doesn't have weakness somewhere along the line, you know. But it's been a great group effort. The players have been brilliant, the staff have been brilliant as well, and we just all work together, and everybody's working hard, and it sets the tone.